Welcome back, welcome home, current and future real estate agents. This is Justin Simmons, your local real estate agent, and perhaps your current or future colleague. Today, we're going to be talking about part 2 and our how to become a real estate agent in New York City. Remember, part 1, we went over the process on how to become actually licensed, going to school, passing your exams, all that studying. And today, part 2, we're covering how to choose your brokerage. This is a biggie because your brokerage can really be a launch pad for your future success as a real estate professional. And this applies whether you are currently an agent or whether you're looking to become one, or if you just got licensed and are brand new and are still looking for a place to hang your license. All right. Now, there's a lot to go through, but here are some key things I want you to consider when it comes to selecting your brokerage, your first business partner in real estate. Okay. These are the things I asked myself when I got started, and I want you to consider them as well. First things first, we know what it is. What is the splits? How much am I getting paid for every transaction? You definitely want to know that because that's just a way to gauge your earnings. Oftentimes we are independent contractors. That may not necessarily be the case because, again, there's different models. You may be hired as a W-2 employee or something else, but I'm assuming that you're going to be a 1099 independent contractor, and you want to know of each transaction you close, how much of those proceeds are coming home to you? That's what you need to figure out first, okay? 2, what kind of training and support does the brokerage offer? Can't stress this enough. Getting licensed really prepares you to understand like the legal ramifications of your actions, but it really doesn't prepare you for the how to run a business side of things, how to build relationships, how to find and develop clientele, right? Those are all things you learn generally while you're on the job. So you really need a brokerage that's going to support you in that learning and growing that you're going to need to do as you become as you scale as an agent. Things you want to learn in this area are their mentorship programs. How frequently is training provided? Is training covered or is it at an additional cost? Are there shadowing opportunities? Can you speak one-on-one with either a team leader or a broker? All things that'll be very important for your growth. Hey, can you sit in on consultations with buyers or sellers or calls with landlords or tenants just to kind of get a flow of things, get an understanding? Can you help out with an open house? And then is that a way for you to generate leads? All these things, vitally important, not generally covered while you're getting your license. It's really going to be the brokerage that helps you develop the foundation you need for your business long term. Number 3, speaking of leads, do you need to generate your own leads? Oh, first off, let's step back. What is a lead? A lead is simply someone who has an interest in doing something in real estate. Maybe they want to sell, maybe they want to buy, lease, or rent. Very simple. Could be commercial or residential, but that is a lead. So now, how do you find leads or generate leads is what we normally say. Maybe you call people. Maybe you hand out your business cards. Maybe you host open houses from listings that either you have or people in your office have. Maybe you do a lot of social media, right? There's all different types of ways you can find people who are interested in doing something in real estate, right? Networking, going to PTA meetings, all types of stuff. But is your brokerage expecting you to generate your own leads, or are they providing you leads that have already been generated, right? So there's a difference there in models that you may encounter. Generally, if you're getting your own leads, you can expect a higher commission split, let's say, as opposed to leads that are provided by the brokerage, because there was a cost for the brokerage to get those leads, and it's reflected in the commission split that you have. But check with the individual brokerages that you speak with to see which model they use. And even if they do expect you to generate your own leads, which I think is very beneficial for you, especially starting out. You want to learn how to be able to grow your own business, not be dependent on someone else. Is there any support that they can give you in that lead generation outside of training? But we'll get to that later. Hey, 4, what's the culture like? Who are these folks? What's the vibe? I ain't talking all that we are family type stuff that you hear all the time. No. You just want to make sure that there's a culture fit for you as a professional with the office that you're going to be in, right? So can you stop by and visit the office? Might you have a chance to talk with some agents, get a kind of vibe and sense of how things work there? Can make a big difference and see if it's somewhere where you really want to be. 5, what technology is being provided? Are they helping with website? Speaking of generating leads, might they have a dialer system you can use to call people? Might they have a studio where you can record content? All these things are going to be very important. Do they support you with getting a customer relationship management database or CRM? Because it's not just enough to find people who are interested in doing something in real estate. You need to store their information, have a way of following up with them, whether it's via text, via email, calling them, knowing when is the right time to follow up with them, right? Saving information that you got from them and conversations you had with them. All that stuff is vitally important to building out your business over time. So what ways is the brokerage going to be supporting you in doing that? Okay. Also, are they an MLS member? Can make a big difference. If you want MLS access, right? That can help make a big difference as well. All right. So now, after we got all that, we have some questions in mind. Of course, look up more for things that are a good fit for you potentially. What else should you know? I would always recommend interviewing with a few different brokerages, asking those questions that you come up with on your own. And maybe you have some people who are already in the business as well. You can reach out to me if you're interested. I'm always happy to help. And then you want to be asking them questions to see if they're a good fit for you as an individual, if they're a place where you feel like you're going to be able to have the support that you need to grow and processes in place that you can use for your benefit. So again, meet with those different brokerages, see if you can speak to agents at those brokerages, if you can hang out at, maybe they have an event you can go to and see what it's like, or spend a day in the office just to kind of get a sense of the vibes. Check them out on Glassdoor if they're a bigger brokerage. Keep in mind maybe brand recognition or name recognition, that's something very important to you. And also keep in mind, where do you want to work? Because if you want to work in Manhattan, let's say, for example, you may want a Manhattan-based brokerage as opposed to one based elsewhere. Or even if they are based elsewhere, you want to make sure that they're active in the market that you're interested in. Also very important. So this has been part 2. Part 3, we're going to be talking about your first 30 days, how to launch yourself into the business as a new professional, tips and tricks and things that really can help you start and generate success from day one. All right. So thank you so much for watching to the end. Hey, if you have any questions or want to reach out, feel free to contact me, 917-254-2103, or drop a comment down below. I'm always happy to talk more to current and future real estate agents. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.